So this is going to be a stream of about an hour where I fight the Spider Matriarch 7 consecutive times on various classes. Following this series, some classes didn't make it past the Grove Defense, while others did. The classes that remain currently, the Druid has changed name. It died to a bug, so it was remade. Classes that made it through was the Barbarian, the Ranger, the Valor Bard, the Circle of the Land Druid, and the Battlemaster Fighter, and then the Warlock with Will's background and Pact of the Tome, and the Frost Sorcerer. They all made it through, and those are the 7 characters that are continuing this little adventure here. The first couple of goes against the Spider Matriarch is going to be Lae'zel, Karlach, the Ranger, and the Bard, followed by the Druid here. So those 5 are the first, and I'm going to explain what my idea and strategy is, and what it is that I'm going to be particularly careful of. So a very, very brief overview of the fight and the way that I see it. First of all, we have, of course, the boss on honor mode has a lot of hit points here. We have two minion spiders, which they're very close. One is closer and one is a bit further away, but both of them will be able to get to my location very, very quickly. Also, we have all the eggs, the Phase Spider eggs. All of the eggs during this fight will be activated by the Spider Matriarch, causing a lot of small spiders to spawn and attack me. And that is basically what I'm fighting. So the boss, the 2 minions, the 2 ads, and all of her potential spiderlings. The Spider Matriarch teleports or phases around basically, and for that reason, mobility in this fight is not something I'm going to rely on, because it is going to be relatively chaotic and probably relatively short-lived, or not short-lived. So the major problem, or the major dangerous thing in this fight, depending on your gear and your level, of course, is her legendary action. So basically, all of my playstyle here is going to be centered around figuring out exactly how this legendary action triggers and how to avoid having it triggered on you. If this is triggered, the Gossamer Tomb. If this is triggered, you're going to be incapacitated. You need to do a dex save, and then you're going to be incapacitated and take a lot of poison damage after 3 turns. So I'm assuming that this is a potential game over if you get Gossamer Tombed. No matter what other minions are currently going for you. So strategy for the 7 characters that I'm going to go through this with is that I don't want this to trigger. So the Gossamer Tomb triggers when you attack one of her friends, basically. So if you attack her minions, that means the 2 spiders, the 2 face spiders that are already on the battlefield, she's going to immediately attack you with the Gossamer Tomb. And if you attack one of her small spiderlings, it's also going to attack you with the Gossamer Tomb. She only has one of them, and it is my belief, and this is what I'm trying to kind of build towards here, is that she needs line of sight in order to do this. So that's the one thing that I'm assuming. I'm assuming that she needs line of sight to actively use the Gossamer Tomb. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I'm assuming that I need to perform a direct attack against one of her minions. And the reason why this is relevant is because in this fight, the gear setup is a mixture of Act 1 gear from on all of the characters. A mixture of Act 1 gear from the Overworld, from the Underdark, from the Crash side region, the Underdark, as well as gear from the Crash. So this means that my tadpole number on this character is low because I did not enter the Crash on her, but it is because I am confident that with the setup that I got on this particular character, I don't need the remaining tadpoles that you get from the Crash. I did, however, go and collect the Holy Land's Helm, which my assumption is that this is going to carry all characters that are able to wear have a decent amount of armor class and are able to wear medium armor. I think this is one of the things that I want to test, at least for all of the runs here, is that all of the characters that can wear the Holy Land's Helm have access to it. And how much it matters depends. If it does not trigger the Gossamer Tomb, then it basically takes care of the problem with all of her eggs hatching, and all of the small spiderlings. That's going to be a non-issue. And also, I think in principle, it can also kill the other spiders because the armor class already on this character is relatively high. So that's the assumption that is going to happen. Other than that, all of the characters are wearing the Ring of Poison Resistance because I'm not using any consumables. I am instead relying on the gear that the game has given me or made available to me, and the Ring of Poison Resistance from the goblin camp is going to take care of most of the poison damage that comes in. So that's also something that all of the characters are wearing. All of the characters are also wearing the Ring of Protection, which is very strong for this whole thing. I think that apart from how I'm planning on dealing with the immediate dangerous things, which is the Gossamer Tomb, obviously, what the general strategy for fighting the Spider Matriarch on all characters is going to be is try to kill the other spiders and try to see if I can't get the Spider Matriarch in a 1-on-1. Because at that point, I feel like most characters will be able to control her. Yes, she still deals damage, much of which is negated through the poison resistance. But she still deals damage, which most characters, I think, will be able to deal with on a relatively good level. If you can manage to get the Spider Matriarch on top of her spider web, she will fall, but if you are able to destroy the web while she's under it, she has a proclivity of phasing to the spider web. This one and this one over here are among her favorite places to be when she's not hatching eggs, which in the first turn she's going to go to an egg group and hatch those. And then following that turn, she's going to go to either this spider web or this spider web, depending on where she can hit me with a ranged attack. And then she's going to be in position for getting knocked down, causing a lot of damage to her. When she gets to 50% is when she enrages, and when she enrages is when she gets dangerous, which is why I prefer to kill off all of her minions before that. And what I am going to attempt in this fight is to, if I can get her to fall down, she'll be stunned and out of commission for the remainder of the turn. And while she's out of commission, at least if I'm ahead of her in the initiative order, then the rest of the spiderlings will be attacking me, and her legendary action will under no circumstances proc. So that's also a way of dealing with it. All right. So I'm going to be talking about Lae'zel's build now, and what buffs I have available to me here, and what my plans are for this. So Lae'zel is obviously pretty stacked. She's a level 6 fighter. This is an encounter that most likely you can do this earlier than level 6. Level 5 probably, maybe even level 4, depending on your setup and how you manage the whole thing. Without any consumables, I felt that it made sense to do it at level 6, just to give myself good and strong odds of getting through this without dying. And also because already I have a couple of other encounters lined up where I can lose my characters. So I do intend to go as far as I can with the group of characters that I have left. So it will involve a bit of prioritization on that part. Good. So Lae'zel has, and I'm just listing the items here. She has on the item side the Holy Lance helmet. She's wearing the adamantine splint armor, which is the plate armor from the adamantine forge, and that gives her 2 damage reduction from every source, which is very, very strong. Apart from that, coupled with that, as a level 6, she get access to her second feat, and she has the heavy armor master feat, which is arguably one of the best feats in the game. 1 strength and 3 damage reduction from non-magical sources, giving me a total of 5 damage reduction from the physical attacks. So that is particularly strong. She's amped up on armor class with the Wondrous Gloves from the Underdark, from the Grimforge. She has the Boots of Speed. She has the Periapt of Wound Closure from the Crash area. This is in, if shit hits the fan, this is going to be paired up with the Shattered Flail. So in the one-on-one against the Spider Queen, the Spider Matriarch, I am able to heal a lot of hit points. So that's the intention for that amulet there. I don't want to switch a lot of amulets in and out, so it makes a lot of sense for me. And the rings are going to be the Ring of Protection and the Ring of Poison Resistance. The Ring of Jumping is going to be precast so that I have that possibility to jump around. For the weapon slot, very important, the hunting bow. If you are playing a class that is not relying on the Titan string bow or any other bow for that matter, the hunting bow is going to give you advantage against monstrosity types. The Feller of Monsters ability on the hunting short bow, which is going to give you advantage against the Phase Spider Matriarch and her cronies. And that is going to be particularly strong, because I'm going to be wielding 2 weapons without any kind of magical enchantment, at least not the +1 or +2 magical enchantments. I'm going to be wearing the Loviathar's Scourge from the Goblin Camp, which is going to tear everything in melee range apart. Deals necrotic damage to all targets, and then it deals necrotic damage to Lae'zel herself, but the damage that she takes is then mitigated by the magical plate armor. So my magical plate armor is going to reduce the amount of necrotic damage I take every hit, which makes this a very, very good combination. In the offhand, she's going to be wielding the Vision of the Absolute from the Owlbear Cave. And the idea is that when you attack spiders and the observer as well, it's going to add damage, and it's potentially going to blind her. So if these things work as intended, and if I'm not getting the Gossamer Tomb, this should be a very easy fight, all things considered. On the buff side, she has access to Loviathar's love, which all characters have, the invisibility, which is irrelevant here, and the refresh buff from the hag, because there really is no reason, if you are in a situation where you don't have access to, if you do not have access to the Shield of Thralls, we do at this point, but if you don't have access to it, you might as well give yourself +10 hit points for any difficult fights that are currently ready for you. Right, so we're going to go, and I'm going to initiate the fight here. I'm going to keep Scratch with me with a volatile shield, which is always valuable. I think actually in principle I do not want the refresh when I can get the... Yeah, I do want it. Alrighty. Right, so we're going to begin the fight, and I think we're going to begin the fight by buffing him. And then We're going to be adding the bless. We might as well add the bless. And then poison resistance ring. Everything is ready now for the setup here. The pre-buffs can matter more or less. So we're going to have Scratch run forward here. And now she's going to see him. Boing. What? There we go. And now we are in combat. Lae'zel has a relatively low initiative, so she's going to be low on the initiative order generally because of her low dexterity here. Just need to check one thing before we go on here. The audio is fine. Audio. Okay, right. So at this point, the 30 yards, the Gossamer Tomb has a cast range of 30 yards, 30 meters in. Sorry, not 30 yards. So this means practically an entire screen is the range, which means that this is 30 yards. I'm assuming that this is blocking her vision, so for that reason I am going to be attacking her with... Let's just see if we can trigger it with the dog. Oh, the dog already has spent its action. So... we're shooting the spiders here, and we'll see. No Gossamer Tomb, at least. Maybe it's a range issue. Nothing. Nothing yet. And we're not going to move out from the rock and start attacking, because I do not want to forcibly push the Gossamer Tomb. In case that it is, in fact, and now she jaunts, and she shoots, and she saves. So at this point, let's see if we can... Right. Okay. So I'm going to attempt. Can't really cause that to happen. Okay. I cannot. What I wanted to see if could I get my dog to. I'm going to attack the spider web because the intention is that we're going to make her fall down now. And then she takes 56 damage. This will not cause her to enrage yet, but it is going to give me time to see if I can't finish off one of her friends here. And it is immune to toxin, which... There is no toxin. Then the offhand doesn't hit. And then we actually end our turn. Even if Lae'zel currently is losing hit points, that is not yet going to be a problem. Now she's committing to a dash and then a jaunt. Effectively, what this means is that effectively she is currently in a position to where, if knocked down, going straight into enrage. And this is probably not the best course of action, because that's going to give me a very dangerous adversary combined with a lot of small adversaries. I am, however, going to try and see if I cannot get rid of some of the spiders here. Still no Gossamer Tomb. No Gossamer Tomb. Not yet, at least. Alright. Staying behind the rock seems like a very good position to have. And currently, as long as the Spider Matriarch is staying at range like so and summoning her minions, everything's fine. Already at this angle, I think that the Gossamer Tomb potentially could hit me if I go and I strike here. And we can't get stuck on the spider web, which is not very optimal either. Here she is, dealing damage. So, looking at the damage potential from the Spider Matriarch, 28 poison damage is a lot of damage. And this is even without any kind of enrage. So now I'm going to attempt to go into her simply. I'm poisoned, but I'm going to go in there and simply see if hitting her now is going to, if I'm able to blind her with my offhand. The offhand bonus action is already used, so that is not going to happen. Let's see. We add precision attack here. We can't manage to. Let's just go for the critical hits. Let's go for the bonus action here. Even with the poison. Smack her here. And he's frightened for 2 turns. Actually prefer her hitting me in melee if I can, because her melee attack is going to be weaker against me than the poison attack at this point. So she's enraging and missing. We're simply going to bash her. Then we're going to see the offhand, and that misses. And she saves for the blind. And here comes the spiders, and I'm interested in seeing if the return damage, so the Phase Spiderling fails a saving throw against Smite the Graceless. That's 3 radiant damage right there. And that causes the Call of the Weak to activate. for the spiderling and blasts everybody else for psychic damage. And the destruction of the spiderlings using the Holy Lance Helm, even in close range to the Spider Matriarch, does not cause the Gossamer Tomb to activate. Alright, that is it for the fighter. So in conclusion, the adamantine splint armor with the feet connected to it helps out a lot. High armor class helps out a lot. Obviously, the Holy Lance Helm is a big part of the problem solving right here in this fight. But even so, looking at the poison damage, this makes me very scared for some of the other characters. Let's just find the instance where she hits me with poison damage. With a poison damage hit of 28 poison damage. Without poison resistance, this is going to be very, very scary. So for sure, make sure to have poison resistance. That's probably a baseline here. All right.